Congratulations on your close of service, and thank you for your commitment to the Peace Corps, your country of service, and your community. You are part of the Peace Corps legacy as you join more than 200,000 returned volunteers. We understand that your return home can be difficult, so Peace Corps' Returned Volunteer Services is here to help ease the transition. We provide career, education, and transition support to thousands of volunteers returning to the United States every year. One of the roles of Returned Volunteer Services is to act as a liaison to various Peace Corps offices so you can find answers to your questions about medical coverage, your readjustment allowance, student loan deferrals, taxes, and various records such as your W-2 or your description of service. We can point you in the right direction to find out any information you need. As you prepare to re-enter the workforce, Returned Volunteer Services offers career development resources, an RPCV listserv, and Hotline, a semi-monthly publication that includes articles with helpful career information and job postings targeted to returned volunteers.
If RPCVs don't know what they're going to do after their service, we also offer career self-assessment software. So people can look at their skills, their experience, what they enjoy doing, their hobbies, and see how that can translate into different career paths.
We've got a 4-day career conference that we host here at Peace Corps headquarters on how to take that Peace Corps experience and enable your career aspirations.
These are multiple-day events. We start by discussing the importance of storytelling. What is it about your Peace Corps story that you could highlight that might serve to show an employer some of your skills and qualifications that you have that might set you apart from somebody else who's applying for a job? How to communicate those skills in a resume, how to write about your Peace Corps experience in your cover letter, how to tell those 30-second tidbits of stories in a job interview or a networking event. Then we round it out with a career fair at which you get a chance to practice your spiel, and you get to meet with private sector employers, government employers, and nonprofit hiring managers as well.
What I found very useful actually was a career workshop for returned Peace Corps volunteers. One of the sessions that really helped was telling your story, telling a Peace Corps story, learning how to take your skills and comprising it into one concise package, pretty much. So when you tell people about it, they get the whole gist of what you did at Peace Corps.
I traveled from out of state to come to the DC area just to go through mock interviews, get some one-on-one advice on my resume, and it was completely worth the cost of coming across the country to do that.
Talking to other volunteers that have come back and, just meeting with them, sharing stories with them, and he or she is going through the same thing I'm going through. So you find that, like, wow, there's a bond. That's one of the unique experiences that I had attending the career conference.
For people who don't live in the Washington, D.C. area, there are other options to receive career and transitional support. One of them is using our webinars. We host webinars throughout the year, and they are online conferences. So all you need is a computer and an internet connection.
They are on topics ranging from interviewing, resume writing, networking, writing KSAs, the knowledge, skills, and abilities that are required for federal jobs, or what is non-competitive eligibility and how to leverage it.
Another key focus of Returned Volunteer Services is our relationship with prospective employers. We currently maintain contact with over 300 private, public, and nonprofit sector organizations to share information about the skills and expertise that RPCVs bring to the workplace.
Being an RPCV has been easily the #1 advantage I've had in applying for jobs. It's by far the best alumni association I will probably ever be a part of.
Peace Corps really is a big part of who I am as a person today. And joining as a liberal arts major, but coming out 2 years later with 2 years of international work experience, with resumes that can focus on education, that focus on HIV/AIDS, that focus on community development. I mean, I couldn't have gotten that anywhere else. And to this day, I can say that I'm still getting jobs based upon my Peace Corps experience, my Peace Corps service, and the work I did as a volunteer.
I certainly think that the Peace Corps experience distinguishes you from others, because I think someone having 2 years in the Peace Corps under fairly challenging circumstances speaks a lot about their character, their fortitude, their ability to take on difficult problems. When the going gets rough and tough, it would be certainly the kind of person that I would want on my team.
I think you bring back a better sense of yourself, of what you can accomplish, and that was important going into the job market. I think Peace Corps could have helped me in any position that I would have taken. And I think employers recognize the different skills, unique skills Peace Corps volunteers can bring, and those being self-starters, very adaptable and flexible. When given a task, they can just kind of pick it up and run with it. And I feel like I've been given those tasks early on.
We've got almost 200,000 returned Peace Corps volunteers here in the United States, and they're leaders in every segment of our society, in public health, in government, both local, state, and federal government. They're leaders in diplomacy, they're leaders in the field of international development, in education, both in primary, secondary education, and higher education. They're business leaders, and bring back that rich and varied experience that they have enjoyed as they've served in the Peace Corps.
No matter what your career goals include, federal employment is a wonderful way for RPCVs to continue giving back to their communities and their country. And RPCVs are in high demand by many federal hiring managers. One tool you can use to gain entry into the public sector is your non-competitive eligibility.
Non-competitive eligibility allows federal government agencies in the competitive service to hire a returned Peace Corps volunteer who meets the minimum qualifications for the position, regardless of whether or not he or she is the most qualified. Now what this means is that you, as the RPCV, do not have to undergo the normal competitive processes. We have worked with a number of different federal agencies in the past to promote targeted hiring events. These are events at which the federal agency and federal hiring managers are harvesting resumes and interviewing people on the spot for federal positions.
I was able to put on my resume in bold letters, I have non-competitive eligibility. And at that career event, the General Services Administration happened to be one of the agencies present and accepted my resume. I found it amazing what non-competitive eligibility was able to do for me, cutting through the red tape, and enabled my agency to bring me directly in for an interview. They hired me 3 weeks after I had handed them my resume.
Please remember that whatever the transition is that you are making, whatever country you're coming from, whatever part of the country or the world you're going back to, whatever your professional experience is before Peace Corps and whatever you plan to do with this experience, Returned Volunteer Services is here to support you.